Hi everyone, I'm Jay Flores, the Global STEM Ambassador at Rockwell Automation, and creator of the series, It's Not Magic, It's Science. Today, thanks to Salesforce, PTC, and Rockwell Automation, we have an awesome way to kick off MFG Day across the country. We do it together here online. You see, COVID-19 might have changed how we get together, but it hasn't changed why we need to be together. MFG Day and creators want it. This is a day for inspiring the future, for thinking about the adventures that we can have, for dreaming up what we can all make possible by creating, just like millions are doing right now. So come along with me as we meet modern manufacturing together. Join the conversation online by using the hashtag MFGday20. Oh, by the way, I'm not wearing a face mask for this program, and some of the people you'll see us featuring in the videos aren't either. But it's because either we recorded some of the clips before the pandemic, or we were able to social distance and take other precautions. Just remember, we are all in this together and we have to do our part. So when you're out, wear your face mask and take care of each other. Okay, now let's hear from a couple adults. Wait, don't go. The charitable nonprofit that helps organize MFG Day is a Manufacturing Institute, and Jay Timmons is chairman of the board. Jay wants to say hi. Hi, Jay.
Well, hi, other Jay. And hello, everyone, and welcome. You know, you're joining us today from across the country, and that's possible because of the power of virtual technology. But you know, virtual technology isn't just limited to attending class or events like this. Did you know that manufacturers across the country now depend on virtual technology to get their work done? And that was true even before the pandemic. In fact, some manufacturers can even design advanced machinery and robotics using only their smartphones. So there's really all kinds of incredible opportunities available in modern manufacturing, and you know, they're perfectly tailored for students just like you. Your generation has a natural understanding of smart technology that, trust me, your parents and grandparents need to work a lot harder to understand. And that's what this event, MFG Day 2020, is all about. Manufacturers across the country want to tell you all about what they do, and they're hoping that you'll get really excited about their stories and maybe even decide you want to work in manufacturing when you finish school. So get ready to hear all about what America's manufacturers do every day, and think about how you might be able to fit into all of that. If you want to learn more about MFG Day and about careers in manufacturing, just take a look at our website, creatorswanted.org. There's going to be other events happening all month long. I'd like to give a special shout out to our partners who have made this event possible, especially Salesforce, PTC, and Rockwell Automation. And we also appreciate the support every year of our local, state, and regional partners, as well as manufacturers across the country. So thank you all for joining us, and I hope we can open your eyes to some new and exciting opportunities.
Thank you, Jay, and hello, everyone. I'm thrilled to have the chance to greet you on one of the best days of the year, MFG Day. Congratulations to the National Association of Manufacturers and the Manufacturing Institute for once again coordinating this important national celebration. In collaboration with other agencies, NIST, our Manufacturing Extension Partnership Centers in each state in Puerto Rico, and the 14 Manufacturing USA Institutes enthusiastically support this outstanding annual opportunity to showcase U.S. manufacturing. Manufacturing is vital to our country's economic and national security. It provides high-wage skilled jobs for our workers in communities across the nation. And advanced manufacturing creates the industries of the future. Advanced manufacturing and workforce development are key administration priorities for our country. To compete in global markets, the U.S. must continue to lead the world in advanced manufacturing, but U.S. manufacturers struggle to find the skilled workers they need at all educational levels. This is what MFG Day is all about. Today's events show that modern American manufacturing is where bright futures begin. So thank you to the NAM and the Manufacturing Institute for bringing us together to inspire all our nation's brightest and best to get the training, skills, and education for rewarding careers in today's manufacturing. America needs more creators, and we hope you'll join us. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Copan. And now to two special guests who are helping make MFGday possible. Blake Moret, Chairman and CEO of Rockwell Automation, and Jim Heppelman, President and CEO of PTC.
Hi, I'm Blake Moret, CEO of Rockwell Automation, and I'm speaking to you on behalf of the 23,000 worldwide Rockwell employees who work every day to help industrial companies and their people be more productive and agile and sustainable. We're proud to partner with the National Association of Manufacturers on Manufacturing Day 2020. You know, manufacturers really offer a very wide variety of jobs doing things that might surprise you. Manufacturing offers employees a chance to use their creativity, to interact with advanced technology, and they play a really important role in the companies that they're part of. Today we want you to see what goes on in manufacturing facilities, and we're going to show you some of the work in Ohio in our plants, in some of our Wisconsin factories, including a brand new advanced manufacturing line right here in our headquarters in Milwaukee. Features some of the most advanced technology found really anywhere in the world. We help companies make an incredible variety of products, from the basics like food and clean water, medicine, to things that make life fun like entertainment rides and electric vehicles. We invite you to learn more about manufacturing during these tours, either from us or from the other great organizations that are part of this effort. And I hope that you take away from this virtual tour one thing that you didn't know. I'd be really happy if one or more of you end up deciding that Rockwell is a good destination to bring your talents. But in any event, thank you for the interest, and I'm happy to know that the world will be impacted by your talent and your passion and your expertise. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Jim Heppelman, the CEO of the industrial software company PTC, and I'm coming to you from our Customer Experience Center here at our Boston Seaport headquarters. We at PTC are proud to partner with the National Association of Manufacturers to help bring you Manufacturing Day 2020. At PTC, our purpose statement is the power to create, and we're proud to support America's manufacturers as you create the future. We at PTC also want to share with you our power to create. PTC donates our world-class software technology, such as our cloud-based 3D design platform Onshape, along with Creo and MathCAD, to students in K-12 schools, and we're proud sponsors and supporters of the FIRST Robotics program. We're also happy to announce the release of the Smart Manufacturing 2 augmented reality app on the iOS App Store and Google Play Store today. And you can go experience modern manufacturing with AR wherever you are. Just search Smart MFG 2 in your App Store. Back to you, Jay.
Now let's say hello to the future.
If you're manufacturing an actual good and you have a skill to do that, that's something that will always be needed. People will always need to have something manufactured for them of some real world good. So there's solace in knowing that your career has a future.
It's kind of amazing that we get rolls of sheet metal that come off of a trailer, and at the end of the line somebody puts a key in and it starts. All of these things have to come together perfectly, and it does.
The work that I'm doing is right on the cutting edge of innovation in the industry. We're doing new cloud-based service technology, new types of analytics that really haven't been done in the industry before.
What I love most is working with the people here. We all have one common goal, and that goal is to make a great vehicle for our customers.
There's a lot of beauty in how something is made.
I was one of 2 women in my computer science class of 200, and it felt like I was an outlier. Now, more than half of my team are women.
We're all really proud to be women in this career. to think like a digital native, but go into manufacturing and use that skill set is tremendous.
It's in their blood, it's their life to make something.
What you're doing actually has an impact on the world.
I'm so excited to be here today. My name is Jenny Guy. I work on the industries team at Salesforce. And in my role, I get to work with manufacturing, automotive, and energy companies to help them use Salesforce to better connect with their customers and to help them evolve in our always changing world. And I'm so glad you're tuning in because this part of the broadcast is super exciting. We're going to meet two amazing creators who are both paving their paths in modern manufacturing and hopefully show you how this could be part of your future career. So with that, I'm thrilled to welcome Dallas Chestnut from Pella Corporation and Matt Miller from Proto Labs. Are you both ready to chat?
Yep. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, let's start with an easy question. Can you both do a quick introduction of yourself and where you work? And we'll start with you first, Dallas.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Dallas Chestnut. I work at Pella Corporation at the corporate office. I work on the product development team as a process engineer on the wood product side.
My name is Matt, and I work at Proto Labs as a build prep supervisor for the selective laser sintering and multi-jet fusion technologies.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for that. So this program is really all about inspiring the next wave of creators to work in modern manufacturing. We'll start with Matt this time, but can you both just answer the question of, in your job and in your roles, what do you really get to create?
Yeah, so one of the really cool aspects about working for a service provider is that we get to create parts for really a wide range of industries, ranging from things like aerospace to the medical device industry to the automotive industry. We've done a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of really cool projects. Recently, we did a collaboration with GE and Zach Posen, where we were able to actually design and print parts that were used in several of the dresses that they displayed at the Met Gala in 2019. So that was a really cool project that we got to work on, and got to see some pretty cool media come out of it.
That's super cool. What about you, Dallas?
Yeah, so as a process engineer, I get to help implement projects for new windows and doors into manufacturing. So whether it's a new design or a new color scheme update, the process implementation for that. One of the recent projects I was able to lead was actually moving an entire wood entry door production from Texas into Pella. So we got to integrate that production into our current production to open that facility for new vinyl windows.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for sharing a little bit of what you do, and hopefully the audience has seen kind of who you are and what you do. This question is for you, Matt. I've heard that your team recently did some pretty incredible things to help our country respond to COVID-19. Can you share a little bit about that project?
Yeah, absolutely. Like most businesses, when COVID hit, there was a lot of uncertainty around demand for our services and how we were going to respond both internally and externally to the COVID crisis. At the same time, as you probably heard, there was a massive increase in demand for both PPE and ventilators. Because selective laser sintering and multi-jet fusion are really great options for rapid prototyping, we had a number of manufacturers who, were looking to Proto Labs for quick turnarounds on their designs. For us, knowing how important those components could be, we tried to expedite those orders related to the COVID response free of charge to make sure that our customers were able to respond to the crisis, as quickly and as effectively as possible.
That's amazing. I'm super glad that you were able to do that. It's definitely really important, being still in this pandemic, of being able to support customers really quickly and helping to support their designs and making sure that their projects were really getting to market very quickly. So I wanted to shift a little bit, since we know we have students in the audience. I'd actually love to hear from both of you, and we'll start with Dallas. And what initially attracted you to a career in manufacturing?
So I really enjoy going out and doing things with my hands. I really don't want to sit behind a desk all day and just stare at a computer screen. So having the opportunity from the process side to work on projects that I get to do some desk work, but also get to see the implementation out in manufacturing, get to be out on the production floor, installing equipment, making through trials are going through the line correctly, and really getting my hands dirty. So being active on the floor was one of the main things that attracted me.
What about you, Matt?
So, if you had told me 10 years ago that I was going to be working for one of the largest additive manufacturing providers in the world, I probably would have been pretty surprised. I actually started my career in IT, but, quickly found myself in a similar position to Dallas, just sitting behind the computer all day and not really being able to get hands-on with the things that I was doing. Wasn't really what I was looking for. So, when I actually got my job at Proto Labs, it was actually my introduction to manufacturing. But it really didn't take long before I was pretty hooked on the industry. It's been 6 years since then, and we're still learning new things every day. And it's been a really good time kind of learning about the parts that we make and their real world applications.
Yeah, I love that you both highlighted about being able to create, which is obviously a big theme of today, and the Creators Wanted initiative, and really wanting to make that impact of not being behind a desk and being able to make something and have that level of impact. And Matt, you shared a little bit about your path to becoming a creator, but I'd love to hear from you, Dallas, of how you got to where you are today, and if you'd always wanted to be a process engineer or what led you down that path.
So I knew I wanted to be an engineer, really love math and science, and I actually specialized in food first. I worked in the food industry for a couple of years before coming on board with Windows and Doors, so I got some exposure to managing people on the floor, but wanted to do some more project-based work. So then coming to Pella Corporation, I was able to kind of get the best of both worlds by doing project-based work, but then still being out on the floor to see the processes implemented and still being able to be heavily involved within manufacturing. So that's kind of what led me down this path.
That's amazing. And both of you really did touch upon being able to make and create things and what you enjoy doing in your roles. Can you both expand a little bit about what you most enjoy about working at your respective companies? And Matt, we'll start with you.
So, for me, a big part of it is actually the people that I work with. I've got a fantastic group of colleagues and folks on my team who are really passionate about additive manufacturing and process improvement. And, I would say that the constant flow of new parts and projects and customer requirements really keep things from getting stale. We're constantly doing new things, and that's one of the things that really keeps me engaged.
Great. And you, Dallas?
Yeah, so one of the things I love about working at Pella is Pella Passion. It's a true thing. The culture at Pella is amazing. So like Matt said, the people I work with here are great to work with, great team members. And then I also love the opportunities that Pella Corp is willing to give people new in manufacturing. So given the opportunity to lead projects and get your hands dirty and have that opportunity to have stretch goals and assignments to really grow your development.
Awesome. Yeah, both of what you had said about having a great culture and being able to work with really great and smart teammates is something that really resonates with me as well. When I started at Salesforce, which was my first job in technology, I'd love to hear a little bit about your day-to-day work and how you do the work, and whether it's more of kind of individual work or how often you get to kind of collaborate with your other teammates and the expectations on that. So why don't we bounce this to Dallas first?
Yeah, so day to day kind of just depends on the project that I'm working on. The last project I worked on was a larger scale one, so definitely a lot of collaborating with other team members, working on layouts as we were moving equipment in, working with manufacturing to modify equipment, and walking through process plans, material flow. So a lot of collaboration across cross-functional. So kind of day to day varies a lot, but depending on the project, most of the time it's a lot of collaboration. It can also be including looking at drawings, updating part numbers within the system, or going, for example, into our test lab and testing built units to make sure they're performing for air, water, and structural.
I would say that's pretty similar. For me, it's a lot of both. I spend a lot of time, working on project requirements with my team and doing problem solving with the manufacturing floor teams. But I also do, a good bit of data gathering and root cause analysis and things like that tend to be more of a solo activity. I also do a lot of collaboration with my fellow supervisors, and we spend a lot of time looking for opportunity to improve our process flows and make our department just more cohesive and more effective.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm going to bounce this to both of you, but we'll start with you, Matt, to kind of expand on that. Obviously, you're both working at modern manufacturers, and technology plays a huge role in both of your companies and how you go to market and how you do business. But specifically, what role does technology play in your specific role and what you do day to day?
Sure. So, being a digital manufacturer, obviously technology is one of the core aspects of our business. From our e-commerce platform all the way through parts going out the door, we really are relying on a robust digital thread in order to execute our production processes and track work that moves through the system. So, it's really a constant part of my day is interfacing with, the technology that we've developed to, just to make sure that things are flowing smoothly and that we're getting parts out on time.
Awesome. And how about in the windows and doors business, Dallas?
Sure we're getting them out on time. We also use them out on the floor for like data downloads as we're scanning paperwork that comes in to make sure the parts get machined correctly on the CNCs. We also use them as pokeokes on our flow workstations to create or to help minimize errors created down the line. Another area that technology uses is on machinery. So, for example, we just inputted a robot that processes all our curved wood products for wood entry doors, which is a huge area of technology that is utilized.
That is super cool. Who knew that there was a need for advanced robotics in the windows and doors business? And so, what we've covered so far is really what you both love about being in manufacturing, a little bit about what you both get to create in your day-to-day and how collaborative it is in working with your teammates. Thinking about the audience that's out there of our student base, can both of you share what skills you think are really necessary to be successful in this industry and what advice you would have for students who are listening? And we'll start with you, Dallas.
Yeah, so I would say an essential skill is communication. For one, you need to be able to communicate with your team members what's going on around you. Organization is always key. And then don't be afraid to take risk. It's okay to fail as you learn. So don't be afraid to be a risk taker, because the more you get out there and try new things, the more you'll learn. And also don't be afraid to try something that you have no idea what you're getting yourself into, because that's a great learning experience going forward.
Matt?
Yeah, I would say, when it comes to additive manufacturing, one of the big skills that's really beneficial is adaptability. Especially today with the industry growing really quickly and new materials and new processes being developed every day, it's important to keep an open mind about how you can create more efficiently and more effectively. And I would, just to continue on what Dallas said, another one of the really big skills is communication, because, there's just constant, working within teams and across teams, and being able to communicate effectively is really one of the big skills that is necessary.
Yeah, for sure. I would say that in my role as well, and probably in any role where you're going to be working with people and across different teams, communication is going to be really key there. I wanted to keep on a thread that you had mentioned about how the industry is really evolving and changing and how exciting that is. So as you think about the industry over the next kind of 3 to 5 or 5 to 10 years, what's really exciting about where Proto Labs or the industry is headed?
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see how additive manufacturing is going to scale over the next decade. A lot of folks seem to really think that additive manufacturing only goes hand in hand with rapid prototyping, but with so many new technologies coming onto the scene, I'm imagining that we're going to start to see additive manufacturing starting to really encroach on some of the more traditional manufacturing methods when it comes to high volume production. So that's what I'm really excited to see.
Yeah. For sure. I also see so much potential in the manufacturing space, and there's just huge potential for growth in the future. And this is a great segue into our next question, which is going to be for both of you. The students out there who are watching today have so many different career paths to choose from. So what do you think the advantages are of working in the manufacturing industry? And we'll start with you, Dallas.
I think one of the advantages of working in manufacturing would be that there's something new every day. There's new products that you get to have the opportunity to work with. You're not going to be doing the same task every day. There's always something new that's evolving and coming out there that needs to be designed, tested, and then implemented into production. So the fast-paced environment is another one of the main areas why manufacturing would be a great career.
Yes, I totally agree. I love how you talked about how dynamic these jobs are and all the opportunities to build new things. And I think for students out there thinking about careers where they can be challenged in new ways and to work on constantly evolving projects, I think manufacturing is a really great space to be in. Any other perspectives to share there, Matt?
Yeah, I would say, especially when talking specifically about additive manufacturing, we've continued to see significant growth in the industry. So there's just really a ton of opportunities for college graduates. And, I think when people, when they think about manufacturing traditionally, you imagine a bunch of people sitting in front of like a supply line, putting one part onto another part and it goes to the next person. And really in today's manufacturing, that's changed a lot. And there's so many different roles and opportunities in manufacturing. It's a really dynamic industry. There's all kinds of problems that are being solved every day. And, I would say if that's something that you're interested in, then it might be something that's worth looking into.
Yeah, totally. I think, again, to reiterate, there are just a ton of opportunities in manufacturing, and it doesn't look like anymore what you would traditionally think as manufacturing, of sitting in front of that line or working on machinery and tools. So we've got time for one last question. So I want you guys to really think about this. So describe your career in one word, or it can be a hyphenated word. And Matt, we'll start with you.
I would probably go with lively. I'm in a really fast-paced environment with a lot of people who are really excited about what we do. So yeah, it's just a really positive environment, and we get a lot done, and that's really exciting.
Fantastic. And Dallas, you've had a couple of seconds now to think about it. What would be your answer?
I would say opportunities, because there's so many different career paths that you can still take within manufacturing and so many different roles that you can fill and projects that you can lead. The opportunities are really endless.
Amazing. Both really phenomenal answers. And I really want to thank you both, Dallas and Matt, for sharing your stories and really inspiring the next wave of creators. I'm personally really grateful to have gotten to participate in this panel today and to show students how exciting, how rewarding, and how many opportunities there are in careers in modern manufacturing. And at Salesforce, we're also really passionate about exposing students to technology and careers in technology. We've been partnering with an organization called Year Up since 2009 and have hosted almost 600 interns at Salesforce through this program. And this year, I'm happy to say that I am participating as a mentor for Year Up. And so this topic is really near and dear to me. And so with that, I will turn it back to you, Jay.
Thanks, Jennifer. So that's pretty cool stuff, right? A chance to be creative, work in teams, use the latest technology, and make a difference? You know what else is pretty awesome? How things are made and where it happens. Let's check that out.
Hi, I'm Taylor Williams, and I want to welcome you to our virtual manufacturing tour. We will start off in the Twinsburg manufacturing plant, where we will follow the build of a product from beginning to end. We will then go to our Mequon, Wisconsin plant, where Matt will review with us Drives manufacturing. Later, we will go to Ladysmith, Wisconsin, and meet with Ryan and Jeff, who will show us how our plastic parts are made, and then wrap up with Bruno in Richland Center, where our systems are completed. In the video that saw earlier, our company's mission is to help expand human possibility. Our products help to make the world more sustainable by making companies more productive. At the Twinsburg plant, we make a large variety of products, including Panel View Plus, Control Logics, and K5700 drives. Today, we are going to focus on another product that is made at the Twinsburg facility, the Safety Point I/O product line. This product is used to facilitate communication between devices and ensure that processes are running safely. A famous online retailer uses these I/O devices to make sure that their warehouses operate safely so that you can get your online purchases on time. The processes that you will see today are very similar to how your phones and your other favorite electronic devices are made. So let's get started. The process starts off in our electronic assembly area. On one of our surface mount technology lines, the lines take bare printed circuit boards and populate them with components. We start off with a bare printed circuit board, and we begin by placing conductive paste onto the circuit board using a screen printer machine. This machine transfers paste to the circuit board by squeegeeing it through a stencil. The machine then inspects the circuit board to make sure that we have good coverage. This is what the board looks like after it has gone through the screen printer. Next, we use high-speed placement machines to place parts into the paste on the circuit board. These machines move very quickly and can place around 12 parts per second onto the circuit board. Once the components are placed, the circuit boards are ready to go through the reflow oven. As you can see by this close-up view, each circuit board has literally hundreds of parts. The reflow oven liquefies the paste, and afterwards, when the paste hardens, the parts are soldered onto the circuit board. As the boards leave the oven, we need to inspect the boards, and we do this using automated optical inspection. This quickly inspects the boards for any missing components or bad solder joints. These units are then tested and put to stock. They will be issued out to final assembly in a kit format for assembly in our Safety Point Automation cell. In final assembly, the circuit boards that were built in electronic assembly are built into a finished assembly. Covers are installed and the unit is labeled. This is all done in our automation cell. Once this check has been done, the two circuit boards are assembled and then placed in a housing. The housing is covered. A keying is installed and the units are labeled. Once the unit's assembly is complete, the units are then tested. As you saw, when we built these units, we used several plastic pieces. These are made at our Ladysmith, Wisconsin facility. You will see that process later in our video. Now I will turn this over to Matt and Mequon.
Hi, I am Matt Selting. I am here at our Mequon, Wisconsin facility. Here at this facility, we make a lot of drives products. A drive is a device that helps to regulate the power to a motor to make sure that the motor operates safely. Because of the complexity of what we build, we use EDWI, or electronically documented work instructions. These EDWI walk the operator step by step through what is needed to build the product. They incorporate an integrated Atlas Copco torque tools, which make sure that the proper torque values are achieved and that the operators are using the correct tooling. Scanning of subassemblies makes sure that the right parts are being used to build the product. Here is a close view of what these instructions look like. On the left-hand side, there are detailed step-by-step instructions on how to build the product. The right-hand side shows a picture of what the step looks like. And on the bottom right, there is a timer bar that shows how they are tracking relative to the expected time. Thanks for stopping by in Mequon. Now, I will turn the program over to Ryan in Ladysmith.
Hi, welcome to Ladysmith, Wisconsin Rockwell Automation. My name is Ryan Wissick. I'm a plastic injection molder. Here to give you guys a tour of molding and show you guys some of the stuff we make. Here we have a simple on-off box used on machines to make hand sanitizer. We got a tower light. We use a lot of these on our presses. Let you know if things are running, whether it's down, if we need help. And then we have a safety mat. Use a lot of these around the plant. A little safety mechanism, you step on it. You see a lot of these in grocery stores. You step on it, it sends a signal to the door to open up. Like a big on-off switch. Well, from the drying system to the press, material gets sucked to a hopper. From the hopper, that material gets dropped down into the feed throat and the barrel. Inside the barrel, there is a reciprocating screw that sucks the material back to the shot size needed to make the part. Once the shot is fed, it is injected into the mold. Once the material's in the mold, the plastic sits, it cools down. Once the part solidifies, mold's gonna open up, the robot will come down, and we'll grab the part.
Here we are at one of the automation cells we have at Rockwell Automation, Ladysmith, Wisconsin. This particular automation cell makes display covers, which we send to the Twinsburg, Ohio facility. Here we have a 150-ton injection molding press that's making the display cover. We have a robot that sits on top of the press and takes the display covers out of the press and deposits them on this belt. as you can see here. Then the Waskawa robot, the white robot, that is picking the display cover up and presenting it in front of a camera for inspection and then packaging it.
Okay, so here you can see here MCC unit, which is basically our main product. You see a lot of components, a lot of wiring here. We have here a component that's being built basically in another facility, Ladysmith. You're gonna see this more installed in the final assembly. So this is basically the units that we just saw that was being built. This is like the complete version of it, okay? And after this, they'll get inserted in one of these cabinets here that you can see. And here's basically complete. Okay, we'll start assembling. So for example, over here you can see, remember the control station that I did mention? So this is it, it's built in our Ladysmith plant. Okay, and then it's got inserted into these cabinets. And basically each of these, what we call units, will control a motor on an assembly line. Okay, so this is one of our test bays. You can see here what we call the whole lineup, where they all connected. And this is a complete MCC, where you can see all the units. You can see here the control stations, all the wire that connect one to the other. Okay? And 100% of our units, our MCCs, they get tested before going to the client. And once they're all approved, they get packaged, and then we should just ship them. Like I said, I use the Vuforia Expert Capture, okay, which is one of the tools that we have in our Connect Enterprise suite. And thanks for watching.
Calling all makers. Playmakers and change makers. Rainmakers. Noise makers and merry makers. News makers. Those who make experiences count. Those who make machines faster and smarter. Calling on those who want to make an impact by experimenting, pushing, questioning, persisting. Those who make customers delight and collaborate across time zones and industries. Those who innovate using data, making a difference through ones and zeros. Those who desire to make the impossible possible. Join us, Makers Wanted.
So we've met some creators, we've seen where they make things, but what does it all mean and where can we go? Why don't we ask the Space Gal, host of Emily's Wonder Lab on Netflix and host of Exploration Outer Space with its 6th season premiering today. Emily?
Hi everyone, my name is Emily Calandrelli. Online, I am known as the Space Gal. You may know me from Emily's Wonder Lab on Netflix or Exploration Outer Space on Fox or my Ada Lace books. But I wanted to talk to you all today to tell you a little bit about how I became interested in science and technology and space exploration and a little bit about what I'm doing today. So for me, I come from a college town in West Virginia, in Morgantown, West Virginia, and I did not consider myself one of the smart kids growing up. The smart kids in my town had parents who were professors at the university. These were kids who had parents who were PhDs, who were engineers themselves. All of these kids were very, very smart. They applied to all the top schools and they got into them. I did not consider myself one of these kids. I am the first person in my family to pursue a degree in STEM, and all of that, all of the sciences, all of that sounded really intimidating to me. I didn't grow up thinking I wanted to become a scientist or an engineer. The way that I happened to study engineering was I was a very practical high school student. When I was a high school senior, I Googled all of the majors one could major in college, and I looked up their starting salaries because I wanted to get a good job. And so across the board, I noticed that engineers made pretty good money. And so I went into school studying engineering thinking the next 4 years of my life are not going to be fun, but I am going to end up with a good job in the end. And so I really reluctantly joined STEM. I reluctantly chose engineering as a major. And when I got to engineering, when I got to university, I didn't know what type of engineering I wanted to do. There were all different types, right? Computer engineering, chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, aerospace engineering, all different types. And so when I was walking down the hallways of my university, I remember seeing a poster on the wall that had somebody floating weightless, a student, a young person floating weightless, and it said something on the poster like, "Do your homework weightless." And I remember thinking, what kind of nerdy metaphor is that? But it turns out that it was just advertising this class that you could take as an aerospace engineer, where you would work together with a group of your friends to design an experiment to fly on board NASA's Vomit Comet. Now, if you haven't heard of the Vomit Comet, let me enlighten you, because it is the coolest thing you will ever learn about. The Vomit Comet is a plane that flies in the air like an 8,000-foot roller coaster. It literally flies like this, what we call parabolic motion. And if you've ever ridden a roller coaster before, you know that when you go over the hump like this, you kind of get some airtime. Your butt lifts off your seat and you feel like you're weightless for a brief second. Well, in the airplane, you feel weightless for about 25 seconds. And then, of course, it has to go back up. And similar to a roller coaster, when you're going back up pretty fast, you feel like you're being pushed back into your seat. On the plane, you feel about 2G, or two gravitational forces. You feel about twice your weight. So you have periods of feeling weightless and heavy, and weightless and heavy, and weightless and heavy, and weightless and heavy for an hour and a half, which is why they call it the Vomit Comet. But anyways, I wanted to ride in the Vomit Comet so incredibly badly, and it looked so much fun. And so that is how I chose to go into aerospace engineering. I later tagged on mechanical engineering because actually there's a lot of overlap in the classes and you can get both of those degrees in 5 years. But that's what I ended up majoring in. So I reluctantly joined engineering, but once I got there, I found all of these incredible opportunities, not just flying on the Vomit Comet, which is honestly one of the highlights of my life, but I also did something called Engineers Without Borders, where we applied what we learned in our classes, in our engineering classes, and applied them to real world problems. We ended up designing and building a greenhouse in Mexico for a community that needed fresh produce in their village. And there are so many other different types of groups and organizations and extracurriculars in the engineering college that I could have joined. I just didn't have time to do, but there's so many cool things that you can do. The other thing I discovered is that the internships in the world of STEM are incredible. They allow you to travel. They allow you to actually do something hands-on. You're not running to get people coffee. You are working on engines, or you're working on rockets, or you're working on a spacecraft. Like, you're working on something real, which is great. The other part of it is that you're usually traveling to a different part of the country. I got to live in California one summer. I went to Ohio one summer. I went to China one summer. And I'm doing all of this research in college, which is so much fun. But not only that, it's a paid internship, which is fairly unique to many internships open to undergrads. And so that was one of the things that was really unique and cool for engineering and for STEM majors in particular. So that was really fun. So my whole story with science and engineering is that I really didn't think that I was going to like it. I reluctantly came into it, but once I was there, I enthusiastically stayed. It was so much fun. There were so many cool extracurriculars to do. The internships were really wonderful. And then when it was time to go to grad school, there were so many fellowships available to students who were doing research in the sciences that I was able to go to grad school for free. And that's not unique to me. Everybody I know that did a research-based master's in the world of engineering or science got to go for free, because there's so much out there to help you pay for your schooling in grad school for STEM majors, which is just, I think that's absolutely wonderful. And so now today, I am just incredibly passionate about science and technology. I want everybody to get excited about science and technology with me. On my show, Emily's Wonder Lab, I do science experiments with kids. In each episode, we do one larger than life science experiment. Think the kids are learning how slime is created. They make the slime themselves, and then they get to swim in the slime. And then at the end of each episode, there's an at-home experiment where everybody who's watching the show gets to bring the science that we talk about in the show into their own homes, into their own living rooms, and make a mess in the name of science as well. So I'm so passionate about that show. I love that show so much. My book series, The Ada Lace Adventures, is all about a girl named Ada, who's a third grader who loves science and technology and goes on adventures to solve mysteries with tech and gadgets that she builds herself. She's kind of a girl that I wish that I was more like when I was younger. And we actually sent the third book in the series to space. I launched the third book to the International Space Station, where an astronaut Anne McLean, actually read the book aloud for a read aloud program called the Storytime from Space program. And so there's an astronaut who has read my entire book on the International Space Station. You can see her floating around. You can see the image of the Earth in the background. It is surreal. Other than my books, I have a show on Fox called Exploration Outer Space, where as the host, I get to travel all around the country and talk to the experts in the space industry about rockets and spaceships and rovers on Mars and searching for aliens and everything in between. And for someone who is a bit of a space nerd myself, it's a dream come true to be able to do that. And we've shot 6 seasons of that show so far. It's also on Amazon Prime. So if you're interested in learning all things related to space, that's where you can find the show. And then I'm also a correspondent for Bill Nye on his Netflix show, Bill Nye Saves the World. That one is different than Exploration Outer Space because it's more about science in general, and it's also more international. So I got to travel to India for Bill Nye Saves the World, where we talked about vaccines and education and their space program as well. So much fun science content out there today. And for me, I love sharing my love of science because I believe science is like the language of nature. The things that seem like magic to many, you can understand if you understand science. You can see behind the curtain. You get to be able to see the inner workings of the things that you interact with every day. And I think that is just absolutely beautiful. I also think it's really important because our society is only becoming more scientifically and technologically advanced, and we need people like you to understand everything that's happening, right? We need our society to be scientifically literate. We need people in positions of power, people who are making policies and passing laws, and people who are talking about this stuff on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and everywhere to understand the stuff that's happening, the stuff that we're interacting with today. We just need our society to be more comfortable with science, to be more excited about science, and we are relying on the next generation to help us do that. So thank you all for listening, and I encourage you to pursue an exciting career in STEM like I have. Bye.
Wow, so you want to be a modern manufacturer now? You want to create the future? Let's find out how.
Thanks, Jay. So you're interested in creating the future. What could be next for you? I often tell my kids who are elementary school age that everything around us is manufacturing and that you too can be part of making things better. So we're going to try to get some answers and quick. Joining me now is Shelly Travis, Skills USA CEO, and Leah Curry, President of Toyota Motor Manufacturing Indiana, and a leading Boys and Girls Club partner. So Shelly, you've been a leader in career and technical education for almost 20 years, and you've been collaborating with business and industry, educators, legislators, and other leaders to design curricula, develop programs, draft legislation, and you were even a member of the Tennessee Board of Regents as assistant vice chancellor for the Colleges of Applied Technology and a Skills USA state director. So tell us about Skills USA. What does a typical Skills USA youth participant look like, and what do they do with their expertise?
So I will tell you that there is not necessarily a typical Skills USA student. We are a very diverse student and career and technical student organization. The one thing that I think really sets our students apart is that when they graduate career ready. And so I think that is really one thing when you look at a defining student, that is our student member is really a career ready student member. We know that our Skills USA students come to us, they are looking for a sense of community and to be involved in something that is bigger than themselves, a growth opportunity and an opportunity to connect to their career in a greater way and discover more about themselves. They also are excited about the opportunity for recognition of their work that they receive from Skills USA. And one of the great things I think about our Skills USA membership is we serve over 400,000 students across the nation, and we bring together all of these students from 130 different career and technical occupations to learn and to grow their personal skills, their workplace skills, and their technical skills. We give them the opportunity to connect with business and industry and their future employer. And I really do think that this excitement about their occupation is really what sets Skills USA students apart. The opportunity to learn and to grow and to have those experiences.
I had the great pleasure of going out to your last national championship about a year ago, and it's just seeing the impressive students from all areas of the country and in all different tracks and competitions. And I remember saying to you, everything that Skills USA, from your commercial baking to cosmetology to mechanical engineering and cyber and everything in between. All of those are skills we need in manufacturing, right? Because if you need to develop, we have commercial bakeries that are in the manufacturing sector. We develop all those products that you use, and it's just a fantastic, impressive activity and an amazing set of students. So if a student's listening today and they're interested in getting involved, what do they do?
So the first thing to do is to talk to your instructor at Skills USA. At the local level is where the magic happens for our students. So the first thing to do is to talk to your instructor or go online to skillsusa.org. I will tell you, if you're interested in knowing more about Skills USA and the wonderful students that we serve and the different occupational areas that we serve and the success stories of those students, I would encourage you to look at champions.skillsusa.org. It is our hub, our Champions Hub, for all of our great stories about our students and instructors and the success that they've had across the nation.
And that's excellent. Thank you so much, Shelly. So now also with us is Leah Curry, President of Toyota Motor Manufacturing Indiana, where she is responsible for all production and administrative functions at the manufacturing facility, which makes the Toyota Highlander, the Highlander Hybrid, Sienna, and Sequoia. Leah has been with Toyota for over 2 decades and has an inspiring story about how she got her own start. And Leah has been a longtime member of the Manufacturing Institute's Board of Advisors and a great leader, nationally recognized as a top woman in the automotive industry. So Leah, you've had an incredible journey with Toyota. Tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, hi students, welcome. And Carolyn, thank you very much. And Shelley, you know, when I was growing up, my dad had a restaurant and I grew up washing dishes by hand. There was no dishwashers back then. So, you know, I learned really the meaning of having a great job, but having your independence. So, you know, making money and having fun at it. So when I started getting involved with internships, I was in an internship that actually I was learning about the theory, but I was getting to work and use my hands and program robots, program computers to do all types of movements and run tic-tac-toe. We could program the robot to throw a basketball in a hoop. We could do all kinds of things. And the careers in manufacturing are wide variety, and the technical skills that you can learn to do almost anything is really important, because no one can take that skill away from you. And if you haven't been exposed to these types of careers, get involved with your wherever you are. There's usually tours in manufacturing, and there's opportunities for to talk to the teachers about what types of skills are needed and what kind of programs you can get involved with. But I'm telling you, it is an exciting job. It's clean, it's bright, and we have a lot of people that work together as a team. So you're not in this by yourself. You're in this with a lot of people that care about you and want to see you getting developed and just go wherever you want to go in your career.
Absolutely. And so I've had the great pleasure of touring multiple Toyota facilities and manufacturing facilities, and they are amazing. I mean, it is truly, truly amazing. And, you know, that's what Manufacturing Day is all about, of course, right? To open the doors and to bring the next generation in and let them see what modern manufacturing looks all about. So now, of course, it's a harder year this year with COVID. And so we're doing a lot virtually, like events like this. So, you know, for those who are listening today and know that working for a company like Toyota is a dream job, you know, what advice do you have for the students to prepare themselves for a career at a company like Toyota?
You know, my advice is to really, you know, reach out, talk to people that are involved in manufacturing, get involved if you have Project Lead the Way, get involved with First Robotics, get involved with Skills USA, get involved with the Boys and Girls Club. We're partnered with them to actually teach problem solving, critical skills. There's a lot of opportunity in your area to get involved, not only within your school, but outside of your school that are partnered to help really teach the different skill sets that you will need to be successful. So there is a lot of opportunity. Go online. You can Google just anything you want to Google about manufacturing, but you can also see what's in your area. What are opportunities that you can get involved with robotic competitions that teams work together on, and it's so exciting and it's a lot of fun. And you know, you'll build friendships that will last forever. So there's many opportunities. One of our students that came into our advanced manufacturing technician program, which now the NAM and Manufacturing Institute has taken on. He came all the way from Boston to come here and work at Toyota, Indiana. He was in a law firm, actually working on a desk job, had no background, no experience, and came here, got into the program and absolutely loves it. And he is just doing wonderful things out there, building these vehicles, but using the technology that we have to improve really our vehicles for the customer. So a lot of opportunities for you to get involved.
And lots of learning to be done in the sector. And that's what modern manufacturing, all the technology that we're bringing to it is all about. So great inspiration, great tips, lots to learn for the students today. But here's the bottom line. You can be anything you want to be, and you can do that in modern manufacturing. So thank you, Shelley and Leah, for being with us today. And Jay, back to you.
There's so many more ways to be inspired and chart your path. That's your own to make, to create and be who you are. Coming later this month at creatorswanted.org, we'll unpack more cool ways to create the future. We need you, manufacturers need you, America needs you. The world needs you. Keep exploring MFGday events at creatorswanted.org. Thanks for joining us this MFG Day. I'm Jay Flores. See you on It's Not Magic, It's Science. But first,
for centuries, sports have played an integral part of our culture. Moving, collaborating, competing, celebrating. We rally around our athletes, lift them up, and admire their awe-inspiring moments and stories that give us hope. The nature of traditional sports is shifting, and we have the power to be forces for change and redefine the game. No matter whether our talents lie on the court, in the lab, or with a controller in hand, there's an athlete inside each and every one of us. Let's work together to champion every sport and every person that plays the game. It's time for us to revolutionize the way we play and move. It's time to be game changers.
Hi, I'm here with Lynn Batone from Pfizer, one of the companies we often hear talked about when it comes to a COVID-19 vaccine. It's a great opportunity for us to get behind the scenes and see what it's like to be part of making a difference at Pfizer and in modern manufacturing. So Lynn, what's it like right now to be part of Pfizer and in manufacturing?
Thanks for the question, Carolyn. It's great to be able to talk about it. It is the most exciting thing that you could think of in a lifetime. It's awesome, but at the other side of it, it's totally exhausting trying to get done what usually takes us, 10 to 12 years in just a few months.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I keep telling my kids it's up to manufacturers to save us, right? So we can all go back to our normal world. And so, as you look at, we're talking about Manufacturing Day, as you look at your career, what brought you here, was there anyone or any one thing experience that inspired you along your career path?
So my high school chemistry teacher was key in developing my love for science. I mean, we used to do these great things, and he would tell us about all different avenues that science could bring you, and we would make these big fireballs in class, which was so awesome. Not really knowing much about what chemists could do across a spectrum other than research and development. He was like, pharmaceutical companies actually utilize chemists to do a whole bunch of things. Why don't you, as you're looking into career paths after college, look in an industry like the pharmaceutical industry?
That's awesome. There's always someone who lights that spark. So what gives you the most satisfaction about your career and your work today?
I just love bringing medicines to patients to either help them feel better or for them not to get sick, just like we are doing with our vaccines. I think, the other piece is taking somebody's idea from the laboratory and making it into a product that actually goes to patients.
So what does it feel like to be part of a project like that? It's really, you have the potential with the work that Pfizer's doing to save millions of lives and in such a crushing time of need.
The feeling is just incredible, to understand what we could do for the world, the impact that we have. I personally have this roller coaster of emotion that comes when you think about, oh my God, are we going to be able to get it done in the time frame we have? See where we currently are, and then the potential that it's going to bring to the world is just amazing and awesome.
So part of that potential and bringing that to life, bringing it to fruition, is the role of technology, right? And so what is the role of technology in what you do every day? And then how is technology changing manufacturing?
So technology plays a huge role in what we do every day, right? We wouldn't be able to do what we do without it. And the way that it is changing is making our manufacturing a lot shorter in time length. So classical vaccines usually take months, especially if they're a multi-component. They take months, if not a full year, to sort of complete and then get to a patient. With new technology, like with current projects that we're working on, we can bring products to patients in a matter of weeks rather than months and years. So the time frame that it takes is just amazing. And the technology, is something that you would never have thought that we could have done with these types of products in the time frame.
I know I've got a chance to tour biopharma facilities before, and it's just awesome seeing the technology at work. And what you make is amazing, but how you make it just always excites me. So if a student is watching and thinking, I want to do that, what's your best advice? What skills, what should they focus on, and where should they go?
Well, obviously I have a passion for chemistry because I'm a chemist, but any one of the basic sciences, chemistry, biology, physics, math even, analytical skills are key. So we'll even take those engineers, study what makes you happy, throw in some science, maybe throw in a couple of business classes as well so you can get a better understanding of how manufacturing plants or businesses run to complement that. But really, I think, we've had a lot of different people with a lot of different backgrounds, even history majors, come. You have to have a passion to make products to help save patients' lives. And that's really what it's all about.
Absolutely. And so I think it's a great way to get to this next and our final question. Finish the sentence. Modern manufacturing is
a game changer.
That's fantastic. So that's a great way to end the conversation for now. Thank you for joining us, but also thank you for the work you're doing to find cures and make the world healthier and keeping us healthy. And so to those who are watching, for more inspiration about our future, visit creatorswanted.org.
Thanks, Carolyn, for the opportunity.
Thank you.